Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Quinn Ewers' journey to the NFL was full of promise, intrigue, and plenty of eyes watching. Every move he made. When the Miami Dolphins selected him in the 2025 NFL Draft, fans immediately began speculating what his role might be. Would he challenge for the starting spot? Probably not. But what about backup? That seemed reasonable, even optimistic. After all, we're talking about a highly touted former Texas Longhorn with a cannon for an arm and the swagger of a franchise quarterback. But now reality is setting in hard. According to a recent report by respected Dolphins beat writer Alain Poupart, Ewers might not even crack the number 2 spot on the depth chart. Instead, all signs are pointing to Zach Wilson locking up that backup job, barring a catastrophic showing. In training camp or preseason, for Ewers, this isn't the dream start fans hope for. It's a reminder that hype doesn't equal opportunity in the NFL. Alain Poupart didn't mince words when laying out the situation. He made it crystal clear. Zach Wilson is the backup quarterback unless he absolutely implodes. The only way Ewers winds up as a backup in 2025 is if Wilson completely flops in camp and or the preseason and Ewers shines, he wrote. Let's unpack that for a second. This isn't just about Wilson playing okay. Poupart is saying Wilson would have to be flat out terrible, and Ewers would have to be exceptional. That's a steep mountain to climb for any rookie quarterback, but especially one with no NFL experience. Wilson may not be lighting the league on fire, but he's got years of starts under his belt, and coaches usually lean into experience over potential. That's how the NFL works. It's not just what you could be, it's what you've already proven. And right now, Wilson's underwhelming resume still outweighs Ewers' blank slate. Now, let's talk a bit about Zach Wilson. The former number 2 overall pick hasn't exactly lived up to his draft status, but he's still a known quantity. He's thrown for over 6,000 yards in his career, along with 23 touchdowns and 25 interceptions. Not exactly elite numbers, but he's at least shown flashes. He's survived coaching changes, media scrutiny, and relentless fan pressure in New York. That alone gives him an edge in the locker room. He's not the future of the franchise. Nobody's pretending that. But he might be the safest insurance policy the Dolphins have behind Tua Tagovailoa. It's a calculated risk Miami seems willing to take. Sure, Wilson could collapse under pressure, but he's also better positioned to step in and run the offense if needed. For now, Ewers is the guy watching from the sidelines, clipboard in hand, learning the ropes while the veterans battle for relevance. And honestly, can you blame the Dolphins for going with Wilson as their number 2? They're not exactly in a position to roll the dice with untested talent. Miami's championship window hinges almost entirely on Tua's health and consistency. Every snap matters. Every possession is gold. And if Tua were to go down and, let's be honest, that's not out of the question. Miami can't afford to throw a rookie into the fire. Even one with Ewers' pedigree. You need someone who can steady the ship, not someone learning how to steer. The Dolphins learned that the hard way last season when they scrambled through backup plans and still came up short when it counted. They can't afford a repeat. It's about damage control, not development. And in this league, that difference is everything when you're trying to contend. Still, it's not all doom and gloom for Ewers. While this might not be the fairy tale beginning fans envisioned, it's far from a disaster. In fact, this could be the best thing for him. He'll enter camp with a clear goal, absorb as much as possible, stay healthy, and seize any opportunity that comes his way. Think of it like a redshirt year, but in the NFL. There's value in sitting, watching, and learning, especially when you've got talented minds around you. Quarterbacks don't need to be day one starters to succeed long term. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, even Tom Brady, these guys didn't start immediately, and it worked out pretty well for them. Ewers needs to take this year for what it is, a foundation. Build confidence, study the playbook, and prepare to pounce. If the window cracks open, of course the elephant in the room is Tua Tagovailoa's health. Let's not sugarcoat it. When Tua's not on the field, the Dolphins don't look like a playoff team. He's the engine of the offense. And without him, Miami sputters. We've seen it time and again. So while the coaching staff may be putting their faith in Wilson, the margin for error is razor thin. One bad hit, one concussion, and suddenly, the backup becomes the most important man in the building. That's the brutal reality of the NFL. And it's in those moments, those unexpected, chaotic moments, where legends can be born. Ewers might not be the guy today, but he needs to be ready like he is, because the opportunity may not come with fanfare. It may come with a headset thrown into his hands mid-game. And when that happens, everything changes. For the Dolphins, this quarterback shuffle isn't just about talent. It's about timing, trajectory, and trust. They've built this team to compete now, not 3 years from now. That's why Wilson's mediocrity is more appealing than Ewers' mystery. But that doesn't mean Ewers isn't in their future plans. Quite the opposite. The fact that they drafted him suggests they believe he can be something special down the line. But to get there, he has to embrace the grind. It's about what happens in the film room, in practice, during those quiet reps no one sees. If he can impress the staff behind closed doors, he might just force their hand. And make no mistake, every throw, every decision, every huddle command is being evaluated. The NFL doesn't wait around. You're either growing or you're gone. And Ewers has every incentive to grow. There's also the human element to consider. This is a kid who's just entered one of the most pressure-packed environments in all of sports. He's not only trying to prove he belongs, he's doing it in a city starving for postseason success. Miami fans aren't exactly known for their patience. They want wins, they want excitement, and they want a quarterback they can believe in. That's a heavy burden for a 22-year-old rookie, but it's also a massive opportunity. If Ewers can tune out the noise and focus on his own development, he can set himself up for long-term success. It's not about beating Wilson today. It's about becoming undeniable tomorrow. The NFL is a marathon, not a sprint. And as history has shown us, the slow burn often produces the brightest stars. So while the headlines might say Ewers losing ground in Miami, the truth is more nuanced. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a long, complex chapter in his football story. He's got the tools. The question is whether he has the mindset to match. Miami isn't handing him anything, and frankly, that's a good thing. Nothing that's handed to you in this league ever lasts. But something you fight for, earn, and claw your way into, that's the stuff legends are made of. If Ewers can embrace the struggle now, he might be writing his own redemption arc before we know it. In a league that chews up and spits out young, quarterbacks, patience, and persistence are the ultimate superpowers. And Ewers, he just might be building his quietly behind the scenes. By the time the season kicks off, the dust will settle and depth charts will be locked in. Wilson will likely be QB2, Ewers will be watching and waiting, and Tua will once again shoulder the weight of Miami's playoff hopes. But this league is unpredictable. Injuries, poor performances, and sudden trades change everything in an instant. That's why for Ewers, the real test isn't whether he wins the backup job. It's whether he makes the most of every rep, every practice, every meeting. Because his moment will come. Maybe this year, maybe next. And when it does, he won't have time to prepare. He'll have to be ready on command. That's the life of an NFL quarterback. For now, he waits. But in this league, waiting is never passive. It's preparation in disguise. And if he prepares right, the spotlight won't be far behind. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The Miami Dolphins locker room is in turmoil, and the latest bombshell comes straight from the lips of their star quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. According to sources close to the team, tensions have reached a boiling point, with Tua openly criticizing wide receiver Jalen Waddle as the problem behind the Dolphins' recent struggles. This is no ordinary locker room spat. It's a full-blown fracture that threatens to derail the team's season. In what many are calling the most explosive revelation of the year, Tua reportedly has broken ties with Waddle, accusing him not only of underperforming, but also of fostering a toxic environment among teammates. The quarterback's candid remarks have sent shockwaves through the NFL community, sparking debates over leadership, accountability, and team chemistry in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa, once praised for his calm demeanor and steady leadership, now appears to be at odds with key players in the Dolphins' offense. Sources indicate that the quarterback's frustration stems from a lack of trust and cohesion on the field. which he blames largely on Waddle's attitude and approach. The Dolphins, who have been expected to be playoff contenders, are now grappling with internal conflicts that threaten to undo months of hard work. Team insiders suggest that this rift has been simmering beneath the surface for weeks, with locker room whispers turning into outright confrontations. The quarterback's decision to speak out publicly about these issues marks a rare and dramatic turn, putting the spotlight on a team desperate for unity. The allegations against Jalen Waddle are particularly striking given his status as one of the Dolphins' top playmakers. Waddle's speed and agility have often been considered game-changing, yet Tua's critique paints a different picture. The quarterback claims that Waddle's behavior has led to divisions among the squad, causing fractures in the team's chemistry. The tension reportedly escalated after a series of miscommunications on the field during crucial moments, which Tua believes are symptomatic of deeper personality clashes. This discord is not just a minor hiccup. It threatens to overshadow the Dolphins' talent and potential. Fans and analysts alike are now questioning how Miami's star duo can function effectively under such strain. The situation in Miami raises important questions about leadership within the Dolphins' locker room. Tua's role as a quarterback naturally puts him at the center of the team's dynamics, but openly blaming a teammate for the squad's problems is unprecedented. This confrontation could indicate a power struggle that complicates the team's path forward. Coaches and management are reportedly scrambling to address the situation before it spirals further out of control. The Dolphins' head coach has yet to comment publicly on the conflict, but insiders suggest urgent meetings have taken place to mediate tensions. The question now is whether the coaching staff can restore harmony or if the discord will lead to lasting damage. Beyond the interpersonal drama, the Dolphins' on-field performance has also suffered. Miami's offense, once a well-oiled machine, has stumbled in recent weeks, prompting questions about whether the internal strife is affecting execution. Analysts point out that trust and communication between a quarterback and his receivers are crucial, and without that synergy, the entire offense struggles. Tua's blunt remarks suggest that the Dolphins' issues go deeper than mere play calling or coaching decisions. This internal clash could be the missing piece explaining why the Dolphins have failed to meet expectations despite their roster's obvious talent. It's a reminder that success in the NFL requires more than just individual skill. It demands cohesion. The fan base reaction has been swift and intense. Social media platforms are buzzing with debates about who is at fault and what the Dolphins should do next. Some supporters stand firmly behind Tua, praising his honesty and leadership and calling out problems head-on. Others sympathize with Waddle, arguing that public criticism can fracture a team further. This split mirrors the uncertainty within the locker room, highlighting the complex nature of team sports where personalities must mesh for collective success. Regardless of where opinions lie, it's clear that the Dolphins face an uphill battle to regain trust, not only among players but with their passionate fans. If this turmoil continues unchecked, the Dolphins risk more than just losing games. Their entire season could unravel. The NFL is unforgiving to teams that cannot maintain internal discipline, and Miami's playoff hopes hang in the balance. The front office faces tough decisions, potentially including roster changes or interventions to reset the team culture. Observers wonder if Tua's leadership will be bolstered by this confrontation, or if it might alienate him from the rest of the locker room. Either way, the Dolphins must find a way to move past this drama quickly if they hope to salvage what once looked like a promising campaign. Looking ahead, the coming weeks will be critical for the Dolphins organization. How they handle the fallout from Tua's explosive comments could define the rest of their season. Transparency and communication will be essential in rebuilding trust among teammates and reestablishing a winning mentality. The pressure on the coaching staff to unify the squad is immense, and any misstep could exacerbate the existing cracks. Meanwhile, Tua's own performance will be under scrutiny as fans watch to see if he can elevate his game despite the distractions. The resilience of both the quarterback and the team will be tested like never before. This conflict also shines a light on the broader challenges NFL teams face with star players who have strong personalities. Balancing egos, managing expectations, and fostering a positive culture is a delicate art, And the Dolphins situation is a cautionary tale. It demonstrates how quickly success can be threatened by personal conflicts, regardless of talent on paper. For Miami, the task is clear. They must find common ground or risk their entire season slipping away. The eyes of the league are watching closely, and how the Dolphins respond could set a precedent for handling similar crises elsewhere. In the end, the Miami Dolphins saga is far from over. The explosive revelations from Tua Tagovailoa have exposed raw wounds in a team striving for greatness but battling internal demons. Whether this turmoil becomes a catalyst for growth or a harbinger of collapse depends on the players, coaches, and management coming together to face the hard truths. One thing is certain, the NFL world will be watching every move as Miami attempts to turn this dramatic chapter into a story of redemption rather than regret. The Dolphins' future now hinges on whether they can overcome the storm brewing within their own ranks. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!